and I had one send me like 20 pictures of just dead animals, like in a thread. I'm just like,
What?
Just trying to make me feel bad. I'm like,
Welcome back to the Stick Talk podcast. We're here at the Grand Cathedral Cigars. As you can see, none of us are actually smoking cigars today because we're trying to be healthy, just like our guest, Mr. Chris. Chris, actually, I've known you for about a year and a half. I don't even know your last name.
McElvain.
Okay,
Yes.
but better known as Cooking
Trying
with
to dox
Chris.
me, bro?
Yeah,
where do you live, Chris?
That's the headline. We dox Cooking with Chris. But anyways, man, thank you for coming on.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Sweet. So I want to start on just like how you got into this space, because I know that you played basketball in college, business major. How did you get into cooking in the first place?
So I always enjoyed cooking. My mom cooked a lot when I was younger. And even when I was in high school, I kind of just messed around cooking random stuff. And then in college, when I was playing basketball, I went down the whole like fitness route where I was trying to just pack on muscle, really, because I was playing against these bigger guys. But I went down the classic like GNC, buying a bunch of pre-workouts, protein powders, all this crap. I was like meal prepping, eating like protein bread, like all this just fake crap, but just trying to, get jacked. So whatever, after college, I was able to put on like 20 pounds of muscle, but I just felt horrible. Probably also had to do with the college lifestyle, just eating crap, drinking, whatever.
You're just slamming protein and alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. So after college, I was just working in sales, still not just feeling good, a lot of stomach issues, anxiety, brain fog, all that kind of stuff. Probably a result from all that I mentioned. And then it really just kind of led me down the more holistic health route, where I wanted to be able to still look very good, but be healthy actually in the inside.
Yeah, feel good, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was very like unsatisfied with my life. Like probably had like 4 different office jobs after college, and each one I was just like, what am I doing? You know, like just contemplating my life every day, driving in, like sitting in traffic in New Jersey, just like, what am I doing?
It's like the one guy on TikTok.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's like the normie 9-to-5 life, and everybody's like, this guy's definitely miserable, but he's like, I
Exactly.
love it.
And two, I was like sitting in traffic and I was looking at other people and I just see how miserable they are. And I was like, dude, I got to do something else.
Everyone in New Jersey is miserable.
What was the story? You were at like a cryo place?
Yeah, so after the sales job, I was really like working on my own health and I really started to fall in love with it. Probably used it as an escape almost, like from a life I was not satisfied with. And then eventually I wound up just completely switching gears, working at a wellness center just to get my foot in the door in like the health world. And I was making like $15 an hour and I was taking way less money, but just wanted to do something I was like somewhat interested in. So I started doing that. And then I found myself helping a lot of people with nutrition, stuff like that. And I knew like I had something that I could help people with. I was helping people, my family, friends, people there. And then when COVID happened, we were at home and I had all this extra time and I just started cooking all day. Like I was like, what else am I going to do? You know, yeah. I'm home. So every day I would like try a new recipe and I would just try to tweak ingredients using very clean things. And then I was able to combine that with like the fitness stuff that I've learned a lot about, and to be able to feel good, cook things that are actually enjoyable and still be able to stay in very good shape.
When did you start posting about it though? Like when did it become like, hey, I'm also going to create a personal brand around this as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's only been about 2 years now that I started Twitter from scratch, 0 followers.
Which is always like fascinating me about you because that's like the least visually appealing platform.
Yeah.
Twitter. Like you think food would probably be a YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, but you blew up on Twitter. Like how many followers do you have right now?
132,000.
Yeah, which is crazy on Twitter. That's and they're all super, super engaged.
Yeah. I found it was just like the easiest to get in the door to start.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and like Instagram and stuff like that, I want like super high quality stuff. And Twitter, I could put very high quality content without needing to do anything else. But also, I did a lot of writing about certain nutrition and health topics, and that's really what propelled me to start with. Plus, like food pictures and things like that.
I mean, you kind of have a cheat code because with like cold email and marketing, like only certain people are interested in that, but everyone loves food.
Yeah.
So you post like a sick recipe that you made, it's like everyone in the world can relate to that.
Yeah, exactly. And I work with all different kinds of people in different situations, so to be able to tailor it to whatever that is very valuable.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about like eating protein bread and protein shakes, and then transitioning to like more natural sources of protein. Like, talk about the importance of making that switch.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those things, you can look great eating them, but you're not going to feel great eating them. And
Why is that?
a lot of these ingredients are just not good for your stomach. They're very inflammatory, and the protein will do its job as far as your muscles and everything like that. But if you're building muscle, but your gut's a mess, you're inflamed, it's going to cause a lot of other issues, and you're just not going to feel as good. So that's what I'm all about, is like using certain ingredients to just make those recipes and things healthier. And all these things are ultra processed, and they taste okay, but you're not going to feel great doing it.
But it's like they'll shove anything in there to get to like that macro number that they can put on the label and
Exactly.
then make it taste tolerable.
And a lot of people only focus on macros and calories, and some completely neglect that. And I'm in the middle, where I do think the calories and macros matter, but we can do it in a way where you're using the right foods. And like we were talking about shrimp, you could have like some processed protein bar that's like 50 grams of protein and like no carbs, whatever. Or you could just cook shrimp. It's one ingredient, and it's the same thing. So just using natural, simple things like that are actually nutritious. Your body's going to utilize all of those nutrients. It's going to be a lot healthier for you overall.
I guess the one question I have off of that is, most people would agree with you. Yeah, it's the same thing, but getting a bunch of shrimp is a lot more expensive. So how did you transition to cooking like really good, healthy meals when you were also making $15 an hour at the cryo place?
It's a good question. I probably didn't handle it the smartest way. I honestly, even when I was totally broke, I probably spent every last dime I had on like the best quality food that I could
Honestly,
buy.
what else are you gonna spend it on though? Like,
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely an investment. There are definitely ways though that you can keep the cost down, like ground meats, eggs, potatoes, things like that. Very cheap, very nutritious as well. Now, there are levels to it, obviously. If you really want to take it up a notch and get very high quality, pasture-raised meats, stuff like that, it's going to be expensive. But if you look at it, it really is an investment in your health. And if you can afford it, it's probably the best investment you can make.
Yeah. No, I would
What's
agree
your
with that.
monthly grocery bill looking like?
I don't know, man. I don't look.
Now it's a lot more fathomable because you can write it off, I'm sure.
Yeah.
At least some of it as a business, right?
Now I write off a lot of it.
I would
as
write off all of it.
marketing
Don't
material.
The IRS listens to
Yeah.
this episode.
But yeah, I write off like 80% of it probably.
But how much you spend, like in general, given month, if you had to?
Or even just a trip to the
People
grocery
ask me
store.
this on Twitter all the time, and I never tell them. So
Oh, okay,
no,
okay,
it's,
okay. We'll keep
He's
this one close
finally
to the
gonna
vest.
tell us on this TikTok
It's tough because
podcast.
I get it from a lot of different places. Like I'm going to the farms, going to Whole Foods. It's tough to say. I would have to calculate, to be honest, but a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than the average Joe.
Yeah,
for sure.
We go to the what was that butcher up in North Tampa, and you're just like, give me 3 tomahawks and these wagyu. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
it's like designer meats.
Designer
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, if you're going to do it, you might as well spend and get the good quality.
I'd be scared to buy a steak that expensive because I'd fuck it up and then be like, damn,
Yeah,
just wasted $100.
But if you want to be more conscious and you're getting ground beef or whatever, it's going to be pretty cheap, even if you're getting 100% grass-fed, pasture-raised, things like that. So, yeah, I mean, just really depends how far you want to actually take it.
So when you went and started a personal brand, like one of the things I was thinking about is, was there ever a thought of going to work at a restaurant as a chef as opposed to just building a personal brand around being a private chef?
Definitely thought about it, and a lot of people were telling me, like pushing me towards that. But I really didn't want to be bound to a single location and, working in these restaurants, cooking, you're sweating your ass off, like cooking a million things on Christmas Eve, whatever it is, like that never really sounded good to me.
Yeah.
Although a lot of people told me like you have to work as a chef, blah, blah, blah. But I found if I could help people cook well, cook healthy, efficiently, and be able to do it online, I could reach a whole lot more people and be able to work from anywhere myself and have that freedom too, which is the biggest thing for me and really why I wanted to do it. To start the personal brand was to have that freedom. So
Yeah. And what was the strategy going into the personal branding? Like, what did you set out to do? Like, were you following someone else's playbook, or were you just kind of...
No, I really just, I followed a lot of the guys, like fitness guys on Twitter, and I saw them making money, and I knew I had a skill set, and I knew I was helping a lot of people in person. So I figured if I just started putting out what I did every day consistently, eventually it would catch on.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hardest part is just continuing to do it, even if you feel like you're talking to a wall.
Yep.
But yeah, it's literally what I did is like, I'm doing all this stuff every day anyway. I'm just going to snap a picture, explain it every single day.
Yeah.
Eventually it would catch on, and it did.
What was
It's
your
like-
break? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say, it's like I heard this quote from Myron Golden. He's like, you're doing it anyways, you might as well turn on the video.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be doing stuff that people are interested in, just turn on a camera.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it was all about, is just starting it, And you see it all the time, like the cliche, just start. And
Yeah.
It is so true, though, because I thought about it for years, like making like a Twitter header like for a year, trying to have this like perfect, but none of it matters until you just start doing it and mess it up and then just figure it out.
Yeah, you've
along
had
the
the
way.
same profile picture on there
Yeah,
since you started,
I don't
right?
think I'll ever change it either.
How long was it until you actually started making some money from the personal brand?
I started like with some like affiliate marketing, just BS to start. In less than a year, I was making a decent chunk on meal plans and cookbooks and stuff. And then I really started like scaling the coaching business. But I've only been doing it for 2 years, and it's really basically grown every single month since I started. And I was still like, when I was working at the wellness place in New Jersey, I started making pretty solid money from Twitter when I was there. So like when we'd have downtime, I'd just be on the computer, just busting out.
Just like building meal plans and stuff.
I'd be like pissed if anyone called to make an appointment. I was like, no,
doing something.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so
Did you say that your boss like went to fire you or something, and you're like, I'm out? Or I thought you told me a story that the cryo place ended
yeah, so
badly.
it didn't end badly, but I was there for like 3 years, and eventually I quit, and I didn't really tell him like why.
Yeah.
I said I was just gonna move to Florida. So he started like grilling me, like, how are you gonna like pay for stuff? And I was like, I don't know. I think I'll figure it out. And he kept asking me, but I just
this guy selling drugs?
Didn't budge. Yeah.
Yeah, what was that decision-making process of moving from Jersey, which you said you lived there for 28 years, to Tampa? Like, what brought you to Tampa?
Really, I just wanted to be somewhere new. I wanted to be in the sunshine. The 6 months of gray, cold in New Jersey was killing me. And then I honestly just was reading like Tampa is one of the best places for like younger people to live. So I was like, screw it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? So yeah, I just sent it down here. But yeah, it was really, I just wanted to be in the sunshine, really from a health standpoint and all that. So
What was your breakthrough on Twitter? Was there like one thread that went crazy, or were you, like people were boosting you like up bigger accounts, or what was like that moment?
yeah, I did have a few threads early that went a little crazy. I think I made a thread about organ meats, and I think Alexander Cortez retweeted it. This is when I had like 2,000 followers maybe, and I remember I was working and I had my phone in my pocket and it was just bzz, bzz, like I saw notifications on, and I was like, what's going on? And then I saw he retweeted it, and at the time it got like 200 likes or something, and it felt like crazy.
I remember coming across a thread of yours before we met, and it was like recommended shampoo and like shower filter. I'm like, oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Like Jack Henry or whatever.
Yeah, so I get in a lot of that too, like clean products and stuff, like more lifestyle related stuff as well, not just food.
Have you ever considered being a personal chef for somebody?
Yeah, I've thought about meal prep service, private chef, but again,
Please, sir.
yeah.
I
What's the number
about it
that
like a month
if Tom
ago.
Brady calls and said I want a personal chef, what's the number you'd take?
50K for a
A
month.
month?
That's fair.
50K for a month.
I don't know. It doesn't sound fun because I really enjoy cooking. To me, it's a stress relief. I get done with the day, like 10 calls, business stuff, and to be able to just like put some music on, put my phone down, and just like take an hour or even a half hour to cook something, like it really is a great way to end the day.
Yeah.
And something like that, I feel like takes the fun out of it because then I'm like worrying about other people. And when you're cooking in big batches, the quality usually goes down a little bit. Yeah, that's why I wouldn't really be
It
attracted.
sounds like you
to
value
doing
your
that.
freedom a lot too. You just
Exactly.
only work for yourself.
Yeah, to be able to like go wherever you want and still be able to work is huge for me because, like I said, like I was working in an office at these jobs for so long, and the whole time I was thinking about how like I couldn't wait to work for myself. So that definitely is a big part of it.
And what does that look like, just for the audience, like working for yourself? And like this is such a unique side hustle, I feel like. Well, which is now your full-time hustle.
Yeah.
So, like, what does that look like? Are you just cooking all day, or?
No, I mean the cooking is very little of it now. I mean I really am just cooking for myself and to get like some content. But most of my work is on calls, working with nutrition for people. I take 10 calls in a day sometimes, and then a lot of it's just making content for Twitter and stuff. And I've been working on the other platforms recently.
And a
But-
call is like, just to give context, that's like with clients.
Yeah, so I have basically 3 different types of calls, like a coaching call with a coaching client of mine, like a meal plan call if someone just signs up for a meal plan, we'll just have one phone call, like a consulting call, and then I'll have like discovery calls with just like
Sales calls.
people that apply for coaching. But yeah, like I'm on a good amount of calls, so it's not like I'm just screwing around cooking all
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
Even though that's what a lot of people think when they see my
Exactly.
Twitter.
That's
yeah.
what I wanted to ask, because there's a lot that happens behind the scenes
Yeah,
to get there.
Exactly. It's a lot of computer, and now too adding like the business stuff into it, the accounting, and like having a couple people on payroll and stuff like
Yeah.
that. That is like a whole different ball
Very
game.
new.
Yeah. So
Yeah. It's
Have you
exciting, though.
Have you ever looked into any other types of growth outside of just organic content? Like, will you ever run paid media or do you
Yeah.
leverage other influencers, anything like that?
yeah, I would definitely like to. Right now is the biggest thing is being able to handle more clients to coach.
Yeah.
And I think as I systemize that more, then I'll really start focusing on things like that. But for now, I mean, I've done very well organic content from Twitter alone. I'll be doing Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all organic first. And
Yep.
then, I mean, from there, start doing paid marketing, stuff like that. But definitely want to focus on the video side of it now before I get into that.
Dude, there's so many different ways you can go with it. I don't know how
Yeah.
far down you've thought, but like your own TV show where you're like cooking in front of people.
Yeah.
But even like giving your recipes in cookbooks to like other people to do meal prep services, so you're not the one having to cook all the meals.
Yeah.
We have to do a
There's-
Top Chef where us 3 cook something for him and he tries it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna do YouTube very soon and like do a series where I go to local farms, ask them about how they raise
That's
the
sweet.
food and things like that. So there are a lot of things that I have in the works right now that I'm working on that soon I'll be posting consistently on those other ones. But yeah, for sure.
If you talk about raw milk, you'll probably get censored.
Yeah,
Why is raw milk illegal?
they don't want you to be healthy, man.
Like actually,
Nah.
you think, like, what is the reasoning? Is it like dangerous in the
It's
government's
not
eyes?
dangerous. I mean, you can buy a bottle of vodka, chug it in your car, and drive home, and no one's gonna stop you. But to get a bottle of raw milk, I have to be like Al Capone, like smuggling it over the border.
Just meeting this guy behind the farm.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't. I guess the chance of getting sick from it is 1 in a billion. So I really don't know why it's illegal. It beats me.
Damn.
Probably about the same chances as eating a raw egg, right?
Yeah, I mean, probably even safer, honestly.
Wow.
But it's worth it. So
Yeah,
tastes
what
like
is
milk.
this like?
That's what. It's funny because people always like, what's raw milk? And like, it's just milk. We've been drinking it for like a million years. It's not anything
not processed,
different. It's just not pasteurized.
Okay, so why is it healthier?
It's healthier because the pasteurization kills a lot of the enzymes, especially lactase, which you need to digest lactose. So as you age, you produce less lactase, and that's why a lot of people can't handle dairy as they get older, but they can when they're a young kid. But if milk is not pasteurized, the lactase is still there, and then you digest lactose very well. And there are millions of people who say, oh, I'm lactose intolerant. They tried raw milk and they do it fine. And I'm not saying that's everybody, but it's very common. And I've had people message me like, I switched to raw milk, my eczema went away, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's a lot of things like that. And typically you're getting it from very high quality like cows. You're not getting raw milk from like factory farmed cows typically. So it's just a healthier animal overall. Yeah. And you're usually getting it like fresh from a local farm too.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so many people say like they're lactose intolerant and do very well with the raw dairy.
Okay, what's the one thing from an outsider's perspective that people would be like, what the fuck, you eat that? Like, what's the weirdest thing that's a part of your diet? Is it raw
Testicles?
milk or is there... Yeah,
It's probably the colostrum like we talked about before.
what?
The
The what?
colostrum.
What's that?
It's like the first milk of the cow, it's like breast milk.
Okay, okay, gotcha. Oh, why is that? Is it like chunky and
It
shit?
has
Is
all-
it like discolored?
Well, it's just when you tell people like, oh, I drink breast milk, like from a cow, they're like,
From a cow, from a cow.
yeah. But yeah, that's probably the craziest thing. And I've had a few people come at me where I posted it on Twitter, and they're like, "You're stealing it from the baby cow." I'm like, like no,
It's not going to them anyways.
yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Oh, dude, did you have colostrum in that blueberry smoothie you made?
yeah, most
Oh my
likely.
God. That was like what, blueberries,
I
honey?
made it for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
It was
right?
insane.
Yeah. It was raw milk, colostrum, blueberries, goat whey protein, and raw honey,
Yeah.
I believe. If I remember.
So good.
Yeah, it's like a milkshake.
yeah.
So is it all natural for you right now, or do you have any supplements that you take? Is it, do you
I
do a
take some
protein powder,
supplements.
creatine?
I do protein powder, like goat whey, which is
Okay.
like just one ingredient, goat whey protein, nothing else, no sweeteners or anything like that. I take a few supplements. I definitely always recommend people start like focusing on their diet before. But things like magnesium are very hard to get through food, so that's something I'll supplement. And I mess around, try some other supplements. Nothing crazy, but definitely I do think they can be useful for sure.
You a
Yeah.
vegetable disrespecter?
No. I think they're overrated in the fact where people think if they're eating vegetables, it's automatically healthy, and I don't think that's the case. But I'm also not like a carnivore where like vegetables are trying to kill you, like all the stuff that they say.
I'm just trying to cope. Like, I don't like eating vegetables, so is that a bad thing, or am I okay?
No, I mean, I think you can get most nutrients from high quality animal products, dairy, fruits. But I do think that vegetables have their place. I think cooking them well is important and makes them easier to digest. If you don't like vegetables, I love doing microgreens where you can just throw them on a meal and you don't have
Yeah.
to cook them. They're very, very nutrient dense.
What's
and
that, like
very,
parsley?
very mild, and you don't really taste it. That's a great one to get some greens in if you don't like
Microgreens,
vegetables.
what is that, like a specific
It's
vegetable?
like broccoli sprouts,
Okay.
or they make like red beet sprouts, all different kinds. You can find them at most supermarkets, but that's a great way to just introduce some greens in the diet. But yeah, I'm not too radical either way. People on the internet, especially,
Sounds like you're very in the middle in a lot
Yeah,
of these.
get-
Yeah, you're not. I saw a guy eating raw chicken on Twitter, and I
Oh,
was
that's
like, "That is disgusting."
Isn't
that chicken
Dangerous.
tartare.
That would like kill you, no?
I mean,
He's still alive, I think.
yeah, that's just stupid. Like, what's the point of that? You know?
Don't you get like really sick even if you
I
like?
think
touch
so.
it?
You could, yeah.
Touch it. You make.
Well, like and then like touch your mouth or something.
Yeah, I mean,
They have to be like really careful with raw chicken or no?
yeah, I mean, you definitely want to be careful with it. if you're getting very high quality, you probably could eat it raw if you really wanted to, but I don't see what benefit there is to that.
Yeah, it's just gross in general too. Like people eat raw meat, it's like ugh. That's just
But
Oh,
people
I love raw meat though.
do you?
Raw
like-
kibbe.
what?
It's like a big thing in Lebanon.
Raw what?
Raw kibbe. It's like ground beef, like raw.
Oh, yeah, like tartare. Yeah, I mean that's good.
Yeah, steak tartare is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people take things so far and they lack nuance as well, like the carnivore stuff. Like,
So if you're vegan, are you missing key nutrients?
yeah, that's one thing I would say pretty much everyone would benefit is from high quality animal products and seafood.
But what about the animals?
What about them?
How do you sleep? How do you sleep at night, knowing that the baby cows are just sucking on dry teat?
Listen, any diet, there's someone getting harmed. If you're eating vegetables, they're killing ecosystems to farm all these things too.
Yeah.
It's like the Entourage episode where Vince is dating
like
the
broccoli,
vegan
yeah.
girl. And she's like, he's a carnic disaster. It's like, oh, grow up. Even broccoli screams when you rip it from the ground.
Yeah, I used to argue with vegans when I first made my Twitter account, and I quickly learned that's not a.
Not a battle you're
Not
going
a
to
good
win.
use of your time.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
It's a
should just post
forever
a
war.
TikTok about like how vegan. Oh man, that would go crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like this raw meat is like the only nutrient you need. All the vegans would lose their mind.
Yeah, I mean, I had one send me like 20 pictures of just dead animals, like in a thread. I'm just like,
What?
Just trying to make me feel bad. I'm like,
I just respond, yum.
it's crazy.
It's like,
but,
bro, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people are very tribal about these diets. And the carnivores, honestly, to me, have become just as annoying. Where if you post anything other than steak, they're like, "Oh, I'll just eat a steak." I'm like, "All right, bro. Like, it's cool,
You
but
get ice cream with your
you
girlfriend.
can eat
they're
other
like, oh, it
things."
should have been a steak.
The best was when you made the cookies for Christmas.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
there's sugar in there.
Yeah, literally on Christmas. I'm like,
Yeah, and they're like, this is so
Yeah.
unhealthy, and it's like pure cane sugar, honey. It's, like, all these
eggs,
natural ingredients.
spelt flour, butter, and sugar.
who cares
Yeah.
anyways? It's
Yeah,
Christmas, bro.
exactly.
What are you
Eat whatever
doing
I
like in
want.
the comments
Yeah.
on someone's post on Christmas?
Like, what do you want me to give Santa a steak?
What are your thoughts on Liver King? Like the way that guy eats and lives.
I think his lifestyle is pretty cool. Like really being in nature, getting away from a lot of the like EMFs and Wi-Fi and all the stuff like that. I mean,
What's an EMF?
like electromagnetic frequency, like
Okay.
like Wi-Fi, 5G, stuff like that.
Yeah.
the towers.
Just living how we've always lived, throughout history. Now, obviously, I think he took it very far, and
little
he's
too
also
far.
juiced to the gills.
Yeah. Yeah.
But eating like raw testicles and shit, and he's like at the table with his family, his little kids like eating the raw testicles. He's like trying to act like he likes
It's
it.
normal.
Nah.
But yeah, that's a little too crazy. But overall, I think that type of lifestyle, within reason, is beneficial for most people.
Yeah.
What about someone like Hormozi? Is he natural? If you had to guess.
I don't know.
That's
I
tough.
haven't really looked at him that much to know. But one thing that I hate, though, and I've seen him do it and a bunch of other money guys do it, is saying how cooking is a waste of time.
Yeah.
That one really that one gets me. Unless you can afford a private chef, you should be cooking your meals.
Yeah.
Now, if you have like a high quality meal prep or something like that, that's great. But people act like it's this crazy time commitment and like washing all these dishes. It's really not like that. And I've seen people too flex, like, I ordered like 10 grand worth of DoorDash this year. Like, I ordered your salary on DoorDash. Like, bro, that's not a flex. Like, you're eating just crap. And if you want to feel good and work well in business too, you want to be functioning well internally. And that's going to translate to more money and more focus. And I think that's very important too. So if you're ordering soy slop from DoorDash for every meal, you're probably not going to be functioning well. And you probably could make more money if you actually took care of yourself a little bit better. So yeah, I see that a lot, and that one makes me mad.
So what's the blueprint for like a busy entrepreneur who doesn't have ample time to cook meals? Do you think it's just like stick to the basics, like chicken and ground beef, and just make them in different ways? Like find the few things that you like making, or
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think most of the healthiest foods can be cooked in minutes.
Yeah.
Steak, salmon, eggs, shrimp, oysters. None of these take more than like 10 minutes. Now, if you really, there are two ways. Like, for me, I'm either cooking a very aesthetic, nice meal and I'm taking my time, or I'll literally just cook a pound of ground venison and just eat it with like salt and pepper because I don't really care that much. So it depends. You know, some people are pickier than others. But if you don't really care and you just want the fuel, you could easily cook these things in 10 minutes. You get a piece of parchment paper, so you don't even have to clean the baking sheet or whatever after, and it's done.
Like my arsenal is like chicken and rice, ground beef and rice, steak and rice.
I love doing, I have a lot of fish, salmon, or like mahi or snapper fillets in my freezer where you could pop it out in the morning, and I literally will put some seasoning on it and put it in the oven for 10 minutes with some lemon. That's an easy one. I use the Siete's really clean brand taco seasonings where I'll just cook up a pound of ground meat, use the taco seasoning, have a rice cooker. All these things take like minutes.
Yeah.
If you have a crock pot too, you could throw anything in there in the morning. Takes 2 minutes, and then at the end of the day for dinner, you have it done. You could cook 10 servings of protein in there, have it for the week, and the weekends too. You could do stuff, but people act like they're not doing anything else other than business. And like, dude, you could use 30 minutes to make something that'll last you like all week.
Do you ever eat out? Like, if you do,
Yeah.
What is the approach there?
If I'm eating out, I just enjoy myself. Really, I'm not going crazy about it. I think a lot of people ruin their experience with food when they're in their head too much, and I've done it in my lifetime too. But now I do the right things 95% of the time, and if I go out and I eat something fried, it's not going to kill me, and I just make sure I get back on track right away. I think a lot of people either stress about it and then take the joy out of it, and then you may as well just stay home. But also some people will let it spiral where they're like, oh, you know what, I ate this last night, so I'm just going to eat this, and then it spirals out. That's where a lot of people go wrong. But I think if you're eating well most of the time, you can eat out once in a while, enjoy yourself, and just move on. Now, if you have like some type of bad stomach issue or inflammatory issue, then I would say you want zero tolerance, at least for a few months. But definitely you can enjoy yourself and not go crazy about it.
So,
But I would like, if you're trying to be good, like a steakhouse, seafood, sushi, even like a Mexican, if you're getting like a bowl with some type of protein, rice.
is sushi high protein or no?
It's protein. It's not super high protein, but it's clean ingredients. It's usually just rice, seaweed, and fish. So it's tough to really like, it's not a bunch of crap like some other places. So it's definitely one of the cleaner options when you talk about eating out. But yeah, steakhouses are good. But yeah, I don't sweat it too much because I know, I do the right things most of the time. But now I'm also at the point where a lot of meals out are disappointing.
I was gonna say I would never eat out if I
Yeah.
could cook like you. We've had your food a couple of times now, and it's like you can't find that anywhere.
Yeah, and it's fun for me too, and I enjoy cooking for other people too. But I enjoy going to nice restaurants.
You should make your own Michelin guide.
Yeah.
The Chris star.
Yeah, we got to get people cooking with beef tallow.
Will you ask a restaurant, can you cook me
No,
food and butter? No.
I will never do that.
Not
Tell
one
them
of
how to
those.
make the food. Yeah.
I feel like that's part of, like you said, you want to enjoy it. If you do everything right 95% of the time and you're still like optimizing when you're at a restaurant, you're just, what's the point of even going to a restaurant?
Yeah,
You're
and people
supposed to
have those
relax and let
seed
somebody
oil
else do the work.
sensitivity cards that they give the waiter.
No.
Yeah,
There's
it's
a
like,
card for that?
It like explains why they can't eat seed oils. Like, dude, just eat and move on with your
You're
life.
gonna be
Like the
fine.
stress that people cause themselves is more unhealthy than the actual food itself. So you may as well just go relax, enjoy yourself, and just get back on track.
Yeah.
How often would you say you eat like a quote unquote cheat meal?
I'll eat out maybe once or twice a month maybe.
Okay.
I mean, it depends too. Like I was on vacation a couple weeks ago. I ate out 4 nights in a row. But if I'm home on my normal routine, maybe once 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
He doesn't need to cheat because this fucking
Yeah,
food
that's
is
the
so
thing
good.
too, where
I mean, your
I'm
stuff tastes so
able
good.
to cook things with very high quality ingredients that are cheap meals, but they're not really cheap meals. Like I'll make fries in tallow or duck fat or something like that.
Can we get a fry tutorial? Because I always wanted to make fries, but I'm just like
It's so
Make
easy.
what?
Fries.
French fries.
Oh,
You cut them.
do that in a healthy way?
It's just about the fat. And now I wouldn't recommend most people eat fried stuff all the time, no matter what kind of fat they're using. But if you're using a high quality, stable fat like tallow, it's going to be a whole lot healthier than like the canola oil they use 8 times in a row at the restaurants.
What about like an air fryer?
Those are good. Sometimes I'm a little cautious about the materials in those, but those are very convenient. But if you want to make a fry, you peel the potato, boil it, parboil it until it's kind of soft. Take them out, let them cool, and then heat the oil and fry them until they're golden crispy.
Just chop it up into little.
Yeah, just cut it into fries. But it's all about the boil it, letting them get cold, and
Yeah.
when the cold fry hits the hot oil, that's what makes the crisp.
So wait, what type of oil are you using?
Usually beef tallow or duck fat if I want to fry something, but it's not something I would do often.
Yeah.
It's like a treat, but it's definitely healthier than.
What's
a
the
restaurant.
what's the best form of carbs if somebody's looking to cut down a little bit?
If you want to cut down,
Yeah.
well, then I would say just eat less carbs, but cleaner carbs. I eat a lot of fruit, rice, potatoes, and honey. Those
Fruit's
are-
a good one.
those
One
are
of my
the-
friends said he lost like 15 pounds doing a fruit fast.
Really?
It's like, that sounds awful.
All these magical cures, all of them just wind up eating less. It's like
And
I
they
did
never
the-
last.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
greatly restrict everything out, so you end up eating less calories.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
of course.
like intermittent fasting. I lost all this weight because you skipped breakfast and you ate just like one less meal. That's why you lost weight. It's not like this crazy
I love the thing where it's like
science.
you can eat whatever you want during the 8-hour window. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. But people are always looking for these magic diets or cures, and in my opinion, it's much better to be balanced. Just eat the right foods in the right portions, and you'll probably be healthy and lose weight. And it's pretty simple, but people don't like to hear that, so they look for these magic diets with titles, and
Yeah.
then they're very tribal about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. That's the main thing, I think.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
you're not doing something that you can do for the rest of your life, or do 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you're just gonna revert back to wherever you were beforehand.
yeah, most people that I work with, when I get on a call with them, I ask them what made them interested. They've tried all of these different diets, and then they lost weight, and then they gained it back.
What's the most common one that people come to you? They tried, failed, and then
Mostly
end up on the call
keto,
with you?
keto probably. Again, like you're cutting out a whole food group, you're eating a lot less, and yeah, you're gonna lose weight, but then you eat a carb and you blow back up.
Why is that? Why can people like gain so much weight back so quickly when they're hopping off keto?
When they're getting off keto?
Yeah.
It's just because I guess this whole time they've been completely restricting carbs, and they start eating a whole lot of carbs again, and your body, you're gonna get that glucose
Doesn't know what to
spike
do.
too, and
Yeah.
then you're gonna put on weight. But yeah, almost everyone that applies to work with me, that's probably 90% of them tell me that they lost weight trying a very restrictive diet, and they're looking for something more sustainable. So that's where I step in.
Nice.
What's the most drastic transformation someone's had
With
working
me,
with you? Yeah.
I've had some people down like 70 pounds. I've had some people completely cure ulcerative colitis when their doctors told them they had to be on medication the rest of their life.
Damn.
So those are probably the two.
What is that,
two
like a
big
stomach
ones.
issue?
Yeah, it's like bad inflammation in the colon, like a lot of blood in your stool, things like that.
Damn.
And the cool part was he didn't want to go full carnivore, so he came to me and he wanted to at least enjoy his food somewhat while being on such a restrictive diet. But yeah, he got a colonoscopy and the colitis was completely gone. It's pretty crazy.
Just from
Damn.
eating only like meat and rice, or what was that like?
No, we ate a lot of seafood, leaner meats, fruit. even stuff like potatoes, high quality dairy, some fermented vegetables in small amounts, things like that. I mean, with conditions like that, it's what you avoid is probably the most important thing than what you're actually eating. But yeah, that's it's pretty cool to see stuff like that where the test came back and the doctor told him that he would be on medication the rest of his life, and then it's just completely gone through food alone.
That's awesome.
It's a cool feeling to see that.
Huge impact.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on alcohol? Obviously, it's bad for you, but do you drink at all? If so, how often?
I don't drink. Maybe if I'm going to like a wedding, something like that, I'll have a couple drinks. But on a normal week, I have 0 drinks, simply because I just don't really enjoy how I feel when I do it. I like red wine, but I still don't even really drink that ever. But I'm not like against it or anything like that. If I'm hanging out with my boys and going to a bachelor party or whatever, I'll throw some back. But I think a lot of people ruin the momentum they build during the week on the weekends, where they're healthy during the week, and then every weekend they're drinking, staying up all night, and your body's just never gonna build any sort of rhythm that way. So I think that is the biggest thing there. But I think if you had a couple of drinks on the weekend and, you know, everything else was in check, it's not going to be a bad of an influence.
What was that night you said you had red wine and ice cream with your girl?
Yeah, I had like 3 glasses of wine and a glass of champagne, and then we got ice cream, and I was like over the toilet. At like 4 a.m. I woke up, I was like, dude, please, I want to throw up. But it was probably more the ice
It's
cream
like a
after
shot
the wine.
to your body
Yeah.
at that point.
But
I'm the opposite right now. Unfortunately, I could probably eat anything in the world. My stomach will it's like
Yeah.
it's like an iron stomach at this point.
well, that's
It's
good.
just-
That's a good sign.
it is, but it's also like
Um,
I do exactly what you just said people struggle with.
Yeah.
Like we'll be really good during the week, and then weekend just destroys any.
That's why he's so small still, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it depends too what your situation is. Like, you're in good shape, you're a young guy, like doing that, you can afford it for now.
Yeah. I also work out a lot, so I think if I
yeah.
didn't work out as much as I do, I would just immediately be like 250.
Exactly. But if you're dealing with some type of health issue or you're overweight, that isn't going to cut it. You know
I feel
what
like
I mean?
just cutting out alcohol, I would lose like 20 pounds in 6 months.
Well, it's not only the alcohol, but it affects your sleep. And then if your sleep
Yeah.
is negatively affected, that's going to affect your testosterone. It's going to affect your muscle. So it's not just like the calories from the alcohol. It's the snowball of what happens afterwards. And that's really why I don't like alcohol, is because it always negatively impacts my sleep.
Yeah.
And that I don't like. But
Oh, let's talk about sleep. Your red light glasses, no blue light before bed, right?
yeah, so a good night's sleep starts with the morning sunlight, kickstarts your circadian rhythm, and then you dim the lights or wear the blue blockers at night. And that will give you a very nice night's sleep.
No phone before bed, no TV.
If you have the glasses, it's fine. I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, you'd be just with a candle and nothing, no electronics. Yeah,
But what do you do without like a TV or a phone? Do you read a
Well,
book?
I
or-
usually wear the glasses and I'll watch something before I go to bed.
Yeah.
But I have like the dark red blue light blockers, and it makes a huge impact. But staring at the screen before bed is probably the worst thing you can do for your sleep, and one of the worst things for your overall health.
Yeah.
It's basically just sending signals to your brain that it's not nighttime and your body's not going to produce as much melatonin, and it's gonna wreak havoc eventually.
Yeah.
But
What do you need to get in terms of hours per sleep per night to feel good?
that depends. I mean, 7 to 8 is probably fine. Everyone's a little different with that. I think the biggest thing is being consistent about it, going to bed and waking up at the same times every day. And then, like me, I'm asleep at 9:30 every night on the dot, and I'm up at 6 every day on the dot. Like, I don't need an alarm. My body just knows, and that's just because I'm so consistent about it.
Damn.
Yeah, I wake up in like a panic every day. Because I put my alarm and I need an alarm to wake up on this Bose speaker.
This is psycho.
It's on a Bose speaker that's away from my bed, so it'll go off at like 6:50.
So you have to get up.
And I have to get up and turn it off, and it's just like brr, brr, brr.
On a speaker. Like, it's already loud enough.
Yeah, you think waking up to an alarm is bad for you too? It definitely is. Like you're in a sleep and then you're just like. Zzz.
I mean, it probably causes a little bit of a stress response when you wake up. I don't think that's. I think there are worse things though that you can do. But yeah, the sleep, that's a big one. And most people are watching TV and looking at their phone until they go to sleep. And
Yeah.
that is just one of the worst things. But you can even put your iPhone on like the red mode, and that is really helpful. But I tell everyone to get a pair of the glasses. It's like $100 and it'll last you forever. So it's totally worth it. But if you're with a girl, it might look a little funny.
That's the cheat code though. If you have like a girlfriend that you're just hanging out with, because you have no reason to be on your phone. You're just like
Yeah, true.
watching TV,
Yeah.
doing other things.
Well, she's just boring you to death, and you're on your phone even more.
Yeah, or she's just like, who is this loser in these glasses?
Yeah,
I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
Show up to your first date with those on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get good sleep after.
Hey, sorry,
Ha-
couldn't
have
get a
you ever heard of
reservation.
circadian rhythm?
Yeah.
Man, thought you had her.
Hey, you never know. You might just get the right one.
Oh, dude, lightning round's gonna be great with Chris. You know why? Just all food questions.
Not really, but there's like one food question where you should.
No,
ask.
I got an idea.
We could throw in a couple for sure.
Wait, what'd you say?
No, we end the show with a lightning round every time, and it's always like questions about dinner and stuff. So this will be very applicable.
I got you. Cool.
Yeah. What about the business side? I want to go a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
more into that before we wrap it up. Like, do you enjoy that part of it? Like the finances, managing a team,
Yeah,
doing
I mean,
emails, calls.
I don't love it, but I know it's necessary to be successful. It's definitely been a learning period with a lot of that stuff, like taxes and all that.
What are taxes?
Yeah,
I'm
you
bit.
tell me. Still trying to figure it out. I mean, that stuff is not fun to me, but I do like the business, like the marketing, and things like that. I think is pretty fun. But yeah, some of that stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, like I want to get more organized and have people kind of taking care of that for me, so I can just focus on really what I like to do. But I would like to oversee a bigger team, kind of like you guys have set up, where I kind of just oversee it all. And have people coaching for me, like have a sales team, have that set up, which I think would be awesome. I would love to do that, and I'd like to be a leader and help give other people opportunities there as well. But definitely have more fun just talking food, nutrition, stuff like that. But it is what it is. You got to do it, so you can't really complain about it. Doesn't really get you anywhere.
It's also just such a good way to grow as a person. Like, I think the main benefit, if I had to choose one that like business has brought me personally, is just like the stresses that you deal with when you're dealing with a ton of customers, when you're dealing with a bunch of employees. Like, you just become a more mature person.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like you said, it's like great. It's a great form of discomfort. So even though you don't like it, knowing and being conscious of the fact that like, hey, I have to get through this. I feel like it helps you in all aspects of life because you're just able to deal with everything else a lot easier.
Yeah, 100%. I think the hardest part for me has been able to like shut my brain off, because now I feel like there's so much that I could be doing at all times, and sometimes to be able to step away from it. And even if like I'm cooking a dinner and I want to relax, I'm like, oh, I got to get a picture for Twitter. Like it's always like somewhat there.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's what I love to do. So it's like a blessing to be able to have it like that. But at the same time, sometimes like I just feel like there's always something I could be doing business wise.
And you'll go insane if you don't find like those escapes. Like for me, it's like working out.
Yeah.
Church, a good one, like a good place where I can kind of shut my brain off and just not think about business. But for you, I know that you're also big into fitness as well. Like, what do you do? Do you lift weights? Do you do martial arts? Do you do like extreme sports? Like, what do you actually do to stay strong?
I lift a few times a week. I do Muay Thai a couple times a week. I do like zone 2 cardio, probably 2-3 days a week on the bike for an hour. And then I'll do like a functional style training called Goda as well.
Okay. What's that?
It's just like a functional training where it's focused a lot on like your like running technique and foot and ankle strength and things like that. I had a lot of injuries like in the past, so I wanted to really figure that out.
Like the knees over toes guy?
It's not that, but it's somewhat similar, I guess. But yeah, I think it's important to diversify like what you're doing. I think for me mentally, the biggest is martial arts, because even if you're lifting between sets,
You're on your phone.
Yeah, your mind is still going. But when you're doing martial arts, like you have no choice but to be present for that hour, and you're never thinking about anything else.
It's like basketball too.
Yeah, anything like that where you're in that like flow meditative state and you can't think about anything else.
Yeah.
I think it's really good to have something like that, no matter what it is. But I love lifting too. I think it's very important. But like I said, like you do a set, you sit there for 2-3 minutes, like you're still thinking like, oh, it's accounting. I got to take care of this.
Yeah.
You know.
See somebody pop up in the support chat on the phone. You're like, fuck.
Yeah,
what do I do?
exactly. I'm getting emails and stuff from people. But yeah, so it's having something where you're just fully submerged, not thinking about anything else, I think is huge.
That's why I miss Harbor Island, man.
That's why martial arts for me, I think, is the best outlet there. But everyone,
Yeah,
has
hard to
something
think about customers when you're getting choked out, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's, I think, been one of the biggest things for me mentally, just like over the years, is doing that, training really hard, doing that. And it's been amazing for all kinds of things there.
That's why I miss Harbor Island. Just go hoop 2 times a week.
Yeah.
We haven't really played since.
Yeah, have you been going to the Y?
No.
I played
I'm
basketball
down to
last
go
week.
if you want to go.
I-
Steve goes still.
I know. I do want to go.
Yeah, I haven't played since the one time with you. But yeah, hiking too, I like a lot. Going to national parks, hiking.
It's tough to do that here
Yeah,
in Tampa.
that's why you got to travel. But
Yeah.
having no cell service,
Where'd you go recently to hike?
Yosemite and Lake Tahoe.
That's sweet.
So being just off the grid, no service, like that is something else.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Such a weird feeling. I remember I went to Banff, Canada,
Oh, nice.
and it was beautiful, but it was just like the first day and a half, I was freaking out because it was the first time since we had started the businesses that I actually didn't have access to
yeah.
internet. And I'm just so used to, like, even if there's nobody talking to me, just clicking on Slack on my phone and just seeing if there's anybody that's talking, or just like refreshing my Gmail and just looking through it, or texting somebody, or thinking about like this upcoming call. But then like after like the second day, I just eased into it. I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this is nice.
At first, it's funny, your instincts kick in. Like, I was in Yellowstone, no service at all. And first day, I'm like checking my phone, and I'm like, oh, that's right. Like 10 minutes later, oh, that's right. And then like after a day, you're used to it, and it's like such a sigh of
Bliss.
relief because it's like a weight off your
It's
shoulders.
kind of crazy. I don't think any of us are addicted to our phones. They're just always there. Like
I would
lost
say
my-
I'm absolutely addicted to
I lost my
phone.
phone in college after like 4 days. I was like, oh, whatever.
It's kind of nice when you
I wasn't
lose
like
your
reaching
phone.
for my pocket anymore, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, it's crazy what a part of how integrated in our lives it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, having no service sometimes is nice. It's good to do like a camping trip with the boys.
I mean, honestly, it's probably a good thing for entrepreneurs to challenge themselves to do it like once every year at least. Just because the best part of like that whole experience for me was I got back after the trip and the business was fine. Like nobody died.
Yeah.
we didn't lose too much. It just was regular. So it's like
Yeah.
if you're not able to actually do that, you're probably building a bad business.
Yeah, Tim Ferriss, he wrote a book called like 4 Hour Work Week, which I didn't read the entire thing, but there's one story in there that I love. And he talked about how every single year he'd take like a 2-week vacation completely off the grid. And the entire point of the vacation was to come back and see where his business failed. So that's where he knew where to focus and fix things.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
he did that every year. And that's how his business got way better. Because
Yeah.
he didn't know where the problems were until he left.
That's
And
awesome.
I thought that was pretty dope.
That's what I need to work on too, because right now it's like me doing almost everything. So like I have to at least be somewhat present. And even when I was in Yosemite, like I had to do some stuff while I was there, but the good thing is having that freedom to be able to still work from there and then go do what you want to do. But yeah, I like that idea for sure.
Yeah, super interesting.
I feel like even if you have to work when you're traveling, it's just more inspiring almost.
Yeah.
Like being in a new setting just
For sure.
sparks the
Yeah, and then
creativity.
it, like you get that travel bug almost where you want to be able to continue to do it. So then
Yeah.
it pushes you harder in business and stuff like that as well.
How often would you say you travel?
Every couple months, usually I go somewhere. I think I was in Yosemite a couple weeks ago. Like maybe a month or two before that, I was in Sedona.
Sedona's beautiful
Yeah,
too.
I like doing the hiking
The
trips.
Red Rocks, yeah.
Because it's cool because you're active while still on vacation. Like the beach trips and stuff are nice. We also live by the beach, but you just sit on the beach all day drinking whatever. But when you're hiking,
like if you're going to the Caribbean, you're just
Yeah.
getting sun and
exactly
drinking a lot.
But going to the parks and hiking and stuff like that and seeing like unbelievable scenery, that is really cool. And then like I mentioned, being like no service and all that is awesome. So I like doing those kinds of trips. My family does them a lot too, so that's pretty cool.
that's nice.
Very cool.
Let's rip the lightning round.
Let's do it.
A series of few quick questions with some slight modifications. At least mine will have modifications.
Quick question.
So just like quick questions, and I just give you
Yeah,
like a
it's like-
one-word answer or something.
Yep.
Kind of.
No, you can expand on
It's
it.
very misleading. We gotta.
Ah.
We've said this like every episode. We gotta change the name of the segment, but
Nah.
it's just like preset questions.
Slightly more rapid fire than usual round.
Yeah.
All right. So my question is usually, if you could have dinner with any three people, who would they be and why? But for you, I'm gonna say, if you could prepare a meal for any three people, who would they be and what would you make?
That's a
For
good
any
one.
three people?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Like your dream dinner guest, but you're making them food too.
Michael Jordan.
Yes, I love it. That was one of mine.
I'm trying to think. Kanye, just because it'd be fun. And Elon Musk, so I can get the algorithm on Twitter, figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, yo, retweet this, bro.
Yeah.
Take a picture of this.
Get rid of the For
So
You
give
page.
me my ad revenue.
Elon's
but-
like cooking with Chris.
yeah,
Blows
What
up.
would you make?
probably go a nice simple surf and turf, a little lobster tail fillet, some mashed potatoes,
So good.
maybe a
Homemade
little,
ice cream.
yeah.
What did
homemade
you
ice
make
cream
that
for
one
dessert.
time? We were all at the roof. It was lobster tail, wagyu something or no? Or
Yeah, I
tomahawk?
made
Skirt steak, right?
I made a few different steaks. Well, the one day I did the shrimp, the skirt steak, and the chicken.
That chicken was
And then the other day I did the lobster and like the other types of steak that
Yeah, we went to
market.
that local like butcher shop.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we got like 5 different
That
cuts.
place is awesome.
Yeah, really good.
So MJ's the goat.
Yeah,
After
I'm-
LeBron, right?
I've always been Team MJ.
Yes, sir.
After LeBron.
LeBron's just not as cool, man.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. It's just
Jordan
not
just has the
argument.
name.
Yeah.
Jordan, like.
Yeah.
I mean, LeBron's a pretty sick name
King
too.
James.
Yeah.
It's the king, bro. I guess my question for lightning round is like, what are 5 essentials everyone needs to have in their kitchen?
In their kitchen, 5 essentials like cookware or like
Anything.
ingredients.
Mix of both.
Either a cast iron or stainless steel skillet,
Oh man, we're probably getting all those chemicals.
eggs, some type of red meat, some type of seafood, and a nice chef's knife.
Love it.
Damn, you left out the cookie
You gotta
fat,
put
bro.
all the Amazon
Yeah,
affiliate
yeah.
links below.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too many things.
This has never been a lightning round question, but I'm curious if you could release one physical product and get into that space, since you're doing coaching right now, and I could definitely see you making that transition quite easily with your following, and just because of the fact that like you know exactly what people need, you're good at everything you do. What would that product be? What would be like the first thing you put online?
Something that I've been having some conversations
I know
about
what it is.
recently.
Oh, it's cooking in the background
Yeah.
right now.
Some tallow. Yeah.
I've been in talks with my local farmer about getting some tallow out there,
So potentially coming soon.
potentially, but
What would people use that for? Like, what? Just for the audience.
cooking, searing a steak, cooking potatoes. You could even use it as lotion on your skin. So yeah, I've been
Kind of replaces like olive oil, essentially.
I love olive oil too, but yeah, you could any way you would use butter, oil.
I
you
feel like
could
olive
use-
oil is just a
use them.
saturated market too. So many people
Yeah.
have olive oil brands.
Yeah, I mean, I think olive oil is very good too, but there's not too many tallow brands out there.
That's what I'm saying. For olive
That-
oil, it seems like the demand is met. If I want to go to any grocery store, like you
Yeah,
find good
of
olive oil.
There's one brand at Whole Foods, and we could make it better. So
Love that. Love
stay
that.
tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay. Awesome.
Gotta get us an affiliate link for the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. Well,
Do you have
I'll
a
do that.
code for like a nice pan? Because me and Dan probably get a bunch of chemicals in our
We
food.
can't even use a cast iron skillet at our
Is
place.
there a cast iron convection one?
I have like the induction stovetop and the cast iron works on it. I think it does work on it.
Oh, for ours, whatever pans we had beforehand just didn't work on the convection.
Yeah, I would say get a good stainless steel. It's a little bit easier to take care of. The cast irons, you can't use soap. You got to season it.
We would fuck that up real bad.
Stainless steel, you could just clean it with soap, easy, and it's good.
Awesome, bro.
And it can pop in the oven too, which is nice.
I actually got one more lightning round question because the last one we got to keep on the down low because it's coming soon.
Yeah.
But
Just cover it up real quick.
let's say at dinner, say you were cooking chicken, Elon Musk chokes on the chicken bone, he dies, you're going to jail, you're getting the death penalty.
Last
What
meal.
is the death row meal here?
Ooh.
Last meal ever.
There are a couple that come to mind. It's probably just some French toast. I just posted this the other
saw
day.
that.
That's one of my favorite. Like I'll make it like twice a year. And someone commented like, "How do you make that healthy?" And I was like, "I don't."
It's not. That's the point.
Yeah.
You gotta enjoy yourself. What type of bread do you use for it?
I'll get a loaf of brioche and
Brioche,
slice
yep.
it real thick and let it sit out overnight to dry out, and then you. I'll have
So
to make it
good.
for you guys because it's one of my
Absolutely.
favorite things on this planet. That, and then I love like a nice pasta dish, like a spicy seafood pasta. Something like that. If I'm getting killed, I just want to feel disgusted.
Yeah,
with myself. So I wouldn't even be mad.
I don't
I'm
have
like,
to battle
screw
it
the
through.
it.
pain is worse.
Yeah,
than
just kill
getting
me.
killed,
Yeah.
That's
Or you
what I
you
want.
try to get so much bad food that you actually die before they can kill
Yeah,
you. So you're like, I'm
true.
going out on my own terms.
Yeah.
Or when you die and you just poop yourself. Don't you poop yourself when you die? It's just way worse.
The poor listeners are like, damn, this food sounds so good.
Yeah.
Brioche French
We ruined
toast,
it.
spicy seafood pasta.
It's gonna be an
The
explosive
Christian's like,
food.
yeah, you're just gonna shit yourself though.
No, I think when you
Ruin the
die,
whole
you release
visual.
everything in your body.
You do.
Yeah.
Just make it way worse for the people who have to clean it up.
Yeah. Then I might eat something real bad. Just go to Taco Bell.
Oh man. Well, dude, thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on the show, bro.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of fun.
Last question is, where can the audience find you online?
Twitter at Cook with 3 O's with Chris. Instagram is the same. And then soon I'll be on YouTube and TikTok, probably within the next month.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Awesome, bro. Crushed it. Thanks for
Appreciate it,
coming on.
brother. Thank you.
fellas.
Someone
Good
take Cook
stuff.
with Chris with 2 O's?
Yeah, dude.